Good day, everyone. This is Maria Amiela Ablola, and I will be discussing about work measurement. So, without further ado, let us start. So, for the topic outline, I will be discussing about the following: the definition of work measurement, the objectives of work measurement, the commonly used methods for work measurement, job design, major issues of job design, ergonomic and work environment issues, and normal and standard time. A work in an organization is dependence in human effort. For an employee to work productively, there should be a quality of work life wherein employees can enhance their personal lives through their work and their environment. The quality of work life can be a major factor in maintaining a productive workforce. A conducive working condition must also be present. The work rendered by an employee is paid through a just compensation. However, for an organization to be able to retain an employee, an appropriate working environment and workload must be provided. So now let us discuss what work measurement is. So work measurement is concerned with the determination of the length of time it should take to complete a job. It is important in promoting productivity of an organization as it enables the management to enable alternate methods and also to do initial staffing. So work measurement is absolutely essential for both the planning and control of operations. So without the measurement of data, we cannot determine the capacity of facilities or it is not possible for us to quote delivery dates or costs. We are not in the position to determine the rate of production and also labor utilization and efficiency. So it may not be possible to introduce incentive schemes as well and a standard cost for budget control. So again, work measurement, this may be defined as the art of observing and recording the time required to do each detailed element of an operation. So work measurement, again, the application of techniques designed to establish the time for a qualified worker to carry out a specific or a specified job at a defined level of performance. And the standard time, this is the amount of time it should take a qualified worker to complete a standard time. The amount of specific tasks working at a sustainable rate using given methods, tools, and equipment, raw time, and it should take a qualified material inputs and workplace arrangement. So there are objectives of work measurement. So let's discuss this one by one. First, manpower planning. Work measurement data is used for manpower planning. This is because it gives information about the total hours required to perform the job. So it helps to eliminate the number of type of employees who are required to do the job. It also ensures that there will be no excess staff. So work measurement data also helps to estimate the number of machines and equipment that will be required in the future. This helps to find out the number of employees who will be required to handle these machines and equipment. Second is production planning and scheduling. Work measurement data is used for production planning and scheduling. This is because this data is used for making production standards. This data is also used for scheduling. So scheduling means to fix starting and finishing time for each job. So this cannot be done without work measurement data. Third is estimating production costs. This is because it gives management accurate data about production time. This data helps to estimate the labor cost. And secondly, indirect costs such as fuel and power consumption, the rents and salaries of staffs and etc. also depends on the production time factor. Fourth, cost reduction and control. So work measurement data is also used to reduce the and control the cost. So it helps to reduce the labor cost. This is because it provides a guideline to the employees to work efficiently and effectively. So it helps to make optimum use of the available manpower. So the labor cost will reduce. So work measurement data helps to reduce material costs and it also helps to increase machine productivity. Fifth, we have rational basis for incentives. Work measurement data is used for making incentive schemes for the employees. When we say incentive schemes, it actually motivates employees to work hard. So the efficient employees are rewarded by giving them a higher wage rate. So work measurement fixes the standard time for doing the work. Those who complete their work within the standard time or faster than the standard time are rewarded with higher wages. So this encourages all employees to work fast and efficiently. Next, we have performance appraisal. Performance appraisals, these are done to find out whether the employee or employees are efficient or not. It is done to find the strengths and the weaknesses of the employees. So work measurement helps to do performance appraisals. This is because it fixes the standard output and the standard time for each employee. So the employees who produce the standard output within the standard time are efficient and vice versa. Thus, it also helps to find out the strength and weakness of the employee. Next is the training of employees. Work measurement helps to train the employees, especially the newly hired. It divides the full job into small elements or into small parts. It gives complete details about each element of the job. It also gives details about how to do each element, the time taken for each element, the machines and tools involved in each element, and etc. So these details are used for training the employees. Next is comparing alternative methods. So there are many methods for doing a job. So work measurement data helps to choose the best method for each job. Then next, we have accepting new orders. Work measurement data tells us when will each job will be completed. So it helps the company to decide whether they are to accept new orders or not. In other words, it helps to find out whether a new order will be completed within a specific time limit. And lastly, fixing the selling cost. So work measurement data also helps to fix the selling cost of a product. This is because it estimates the cost of production, especially the labor cost. So selling cost is decided after fixing the estimated production cost. So again, we have 10 objectives of work measurement, and these are as follows: manpower planning, production planning and scheduling, estimating production cost reduction and control, rational basis for incentives, performance appraisal, training of employees, comparing alternative methods, accepting new orders, and lastly, fixing the selling cost. So next, we'll discuss about the commonly used methods for work measurement. So since carrying out the time study for each job is actually time consuming. So there are methods in which we can use to determine. First is the stopwatch time study. So with the help of the stopwatch time study, which is most commonly used work measurement, this actually was developed by Frederick Winslow Taylor, and time study is best suited for short cycle repetitive jobs. So most of the production jobs can be easily timed by time study. So time study procedure consists of the following steps. First, you define the task that is to study and inform the worker who will be studied. Second, you determine the number of cycles to observe. Third, time the job and define the worker's performance. Then lastly, you compute the standard time. Next, we have predetermined data. So predetermined motion time standards have been developed for different job elements based on the elementary movement. Usually, for time measurement, work factors and basic motion, times are recorded in any predetermined time standards. Work study analysis or analysts use such time standards as the basis for comparing the observed time of the present worker. So this enables the work study men to quickly decide the efficiency or otherwise of the workers and to make decisions accordingly. Next, we have work sampling. So, work sampling method, this was originally developed by Leonard Henry Caleb Tippett. This is in Britain in 1934. So in this technique, the workers are observed many times at random. So it is done to find out for how much time the worker is actually on the job. So it checks how long he is working and how much time he is not working or the idle time. So work sampling method does not involve stopwatch measurement. So the purpose of work sampling technique is actually to estimate what proportion of a worker's time is devoted to work-related activities. Next, we have analytical sampling or analytical estimating rather. So analytical estimation, this is normally used in plant maintenance and repair works. So this is a compromise between straight rate fixing and time study. So since maintenance and repair jobs requires adequate planning and also because such jobs by their very nature, call for creativity and innovativeness. It is difficult to enforce straight rate fixing. So, analytical estimation is difficult in nature and is also not always foolproof for the inexperience of the work study men. So, after we determine what are the commonly used methods for work measurement, we now go to job design. So job design is the logical sequence of the process of job analysis and involves conscious efforts to organize tasks, duty, and responsibilities into a unit of work, so as the business objectives. Job design is the logical sequence of job analysis. It involves conscious efforts to organize tasks, duties, and responsibilities into a unit of work so as to achieve organizational objectives. So, job design. When we say job design, this is again the process that is required to perform a specific job. So, creating a job design is the succeeding step to job analysis. So, as you know, job analysis this provides information about the skills and competency required to perform a job efficiently. Conversely, job design strives at organizing tasks, duties, and responsibilities that are associated with a job to achieve organizational as well as individual objectives. So, technically speaking, si job design, this attempts to integrate work content like those of tasks, functions, relationships with that of the skill requirements that's applicable for each job that meets the needs of the employees and also of the organization as a whole. So there are goals of job design. First is facilitating the interest of employees towards the job and enhancing their satisfaction. Third is increasing employee motivation and productivity. Third is enhancing employees' skills by identifying their training needs and covering the modern needs of employee participation. Also, another goal of job design is to ensure safer working environment, making the communication process clear and effective in the organization, to improve the quality of working life of the employees, and of course, to eliminate the unnecessary levels of supervision, checking, and of control. Let's go now to what are the major issues of job design. So we have telecommuting or the work from home setup, job sharing, flexi working hours, alternative work pattern, technostress, and task revision. So let's discuss this one by one. Telecommuting or work from home. Telecommuting or work from home is considered as the best alternative of working from the actual office. So the concept of virtual office is gained more and more popularly because of ease and convenience associated with it. It eliminates the need of coming to office every day and offers employees the convenience to work at the comfort of their home. So through there are lots of advantages associated with this working style. It suffers from many limitations. So it allows employees to stay at home and manage their job tasks and functions without actually being present in the office. But it doesn't allow them to communicate with other employees and establish relationship with them. So they only deal with machines full day. Thus they lose creativity. Moreover, it is a great hindrance in their way as it does not allow skill upgradation. Next, we have job sharing. So job sharing, it is the second most preferable alternative of traditional working styles where two or more individuals share the responsibilities of a full-time job. So they divide the task into two as well as the responsibility and compensation according to their mutual consent. So this option is generally used by women who are in maternity leave or have family and kids to look after but want to continue their job. So these days, organizations are open to this kind of working style where two or more individuals can actually share the job. So third, we have the flexi working hours. So these days, organizations allow their employees to work according to the timings to suit what's the best hour for them. So there are 3 to 4 working schedules, and individuals can actually choose any of them depending on their availability. So employees can work in early hours as well as night hours. So this is good for those individuals who have college or some other engagement during the day or specific hours of the day. So the best part is that unlike telecommuting, flexi timings give them the chance to communicate with other employees as well. Next, we have alternative work pattern. So companies these days allow their employees to work on alternate months or seasons. So though the concept is not that common, we cannot see this in our country, but it can also be seen in India, in Europe, and in American nation. So they also have the option to work 2 to 3 full days and can relax after that. So according to the latest concept, employees can work for a fixed number of hours and then they can attend to their personal needs during the left day. So that's the concept of alternative work patterns. Next, we have the technostress. So, TechnoStress, this is the latest technological um, advancement, but gives distress. So, TechnoStress is the latest technology to keep a check on employees' performance even when they choose to work from home. So, because of the introduction of the machines, their performance can be electronically monitored even when they are not aware of it. Then, lastly, we have task revisions. So when we say task revision, this is nothing but modification of existing work design by reducing or adding a new job duties and responsibilities to a specific task. All right. So now let's discuss the ergonomic and work environmental issues. So ergonomics can roughly be defined as the study of people in their working environment, more specifically, an ergonomist, pronounced like economist, designs or modifies to work to fit the worker, not the other way around. So the goal is to eliminate discomfort and risk of injury due to work. So in other words, the employee is our first priority in analyzing a workstation. So ergonomics or human factors, this is the scientific discipline concerned with the understanding of the interactions among human and other elements of a system, and the profession that applies theory, principles, data, and methods to design in order to optimize human well-being and the overall system performance. So if you continue to carry on with your uncomfortable office setup or work setup, you might be closer to experiencing work related health issues. So, this is not something to take lightly. So, it might be fun and relaxing to work on a living room, to explore, or maybe while lying on your bed. But despite that comfort, you might be doing more harm than good. Alright, so what's the importance of office ergonomics? So a healthy work environment is a positive work environment. So where ergonomics is considered, you can perform better and strive to work harder for you to accomplish your job responsibilities. So back in the office, there are safety protocols set to actually protect employees, facilities, and business property regardless of the form or size of the company. So the same things applies when you are working from home. So home office ergonomics can significantly increase your performance and may even improve your motivation as a career driven professional. So another thing that can be reduced when ergonomics is applied is risk for injuries. So ergonomic accidents can occur in any industry, but some occupations are more at risk than others. So the first step in preventing such work-related maintenance problem is to be well informed about the different types of ergonomic concerns and their causes. So now let us discuss what are these issues. So failure to operate in a neutral position to support good posture. So when we operate in a neutral role, our bodies perform best. So the neutral position is simply a relaxing position in which all of your joints are aligned. So when you function in neutral, your muscles, tendons, and skeletal system are under less tension, lowering your risk of muscu- um, musculoskeletal injury. So what you should do for you to prevent this? So make an L shape with your body. So you want to keep the body lengthened and aligned to run in neutral. So you do this by performing an L shape with your body. So proper alignment comes from proper spine elongation. So you can do this through these four steps. First, you maintain a straight line between your shoulders and your head with no tilting forward or backward or to the left. Second, hips should be slightly higher than the knees, creating a 110-degree angle. This will relieve the strain on your bones. Next, to help your upper body, you bend your knees to a 90-degree angle. So when seated, your knees should be 2 to 3 feet away from the front of your chair, or 2 to 3 feet inches rather. So lastly, you make sure that your feet are flat on the concrete. So if your chair is too high, try adjusting it lower. So if your shoes aren't flexible, you put your feet on a flat stool. Next issue we have is that you keep on doing repetitive motions. So a large percentage of work-related injuries develop over time as a result of continuous repeated movement. So typing to answer the phone are examples of repeated movements. Such movements do not normally cause strain on their own, but the repeated use of muscles to perform the same action over time may cause tension and pain in the skeletal system. So what you can do to reduce it? So every hour you switch tasks. So when it comes to avoiding repetitive joint or motions, a good guideline to follow is to move activities regularly so that you are using a different muscle group at the end of each hour. So this will allow your muscles to heal while you continue to function. Next we have, you do not keep an eye on your positioning. So when an individual deviates significantly from a neutral position while performing tasks, this is referred to as awkward positioning. So skeletal injury may result from increased force and decreased performance. Bending, reaching, raising, and twisting are several examples of inconvenient positions. So what you can do, so you keep an close eye on what you're working on. So it's important to keep whatever you're working on close to you to avoid uncomfortable positions. So try to keep anything within arm's reach in particular. Since you won't have to reach, twist your bend to get to your job, your body will be closer to neutral. The next, you remain stationary for long hours in the same place. So researchers says that a worker's chance of developing a skeletal injury increases when the body is in a stagnant condition for an extended time. So extended sitting can cause chronic life-altering injuries such as obesity and type 2 diabetes. So in addition to the skeletal injuries. So for you to refrain having this, if you can and you are willing, for every 30 minutes, you try to get up. So according to studies, a person should get up and walk after 30 minutes of sitting. So doing this will not lower the risk of skeletal injury, but also lowers the risk of early mortality. So um, you should actually get up after every 30 minutes. Then lastly, you do not take a break from your screen. So you might find that your vision starts to blur or that you start getting headaches regularly. Visual fatigue is most likely the cause of this symptom. So if you spend a significant portion of your day looking at screens, it occurs more often in people who use multiple monitors. So what can you do to reduce this? So do the 20-20-20 method to get your eyes off the screen. This is where you stare at something that is 20 feet away for 20 seconds and you do it again after 20 minutes. So, ergonomics should have a part in your home office setup or even in your office setup. So, if you are overwhelmed and lost as to what you should do, first to apply ergonomics in your workspace, you may find um, some concepts that has aspects to cover it for you. So you should not aim not because you don't want your body to have any harm, but also because you want the best that you can be at your workplace. Then next, we will be discussing about the normal and standard time. So every industry carries out the process of work measurement. So the work measurement is the process of calculating the time that a person would take while performing a task. So with respect to different levels of performance. So normal time is called as the base time or level this as the time that a trained worker needs to complete the task at a normal phase. So the process of calculation of time involves many processes. So the time study is always carried out in many industries. The time study is done for many of the industrial operations which may be manual or mental or machining process. Hence, the hours and the pace of a worker plays a major role in his salary. Also, it gives an insight for the industrialist about the time of completion of the work. So let's discuss what standard time is. So when we say standard time, this is a term more often used in the industrial engineering for the purpose of work management. So the formula used in calculations of standard time is standard time is equal to normal time over 1 plus AF, or standard time is equal to normal time multiplied by 1 minus AF, where AF is the allowance factor. Next, we have the normal time. The normal time is the strictest follower of schedule. So, the formula used in the calculation of the normal time is normal time is equal to the quantity of observed time times the rating factor all over 100. So, let us try this in a problem. So a restaurant conducted a time study for a job assembling ham and cheese sandwiches. There are 10 cycles in the job, and the average time was recorded to be 0.385 minutes. Determining the standard time of the assembly, if the operator is rated at 80% and the allowance factor is given at 12%. So let's solve the problem. By the way, going back to the formula of the standard time, for the first case wherein standard time is equal to the normal time all over 1 plus AF, we usually use this when the allowance is given as a fraction of the normal time, and usually this is stated in the problem as the allowance is added in the normal time. The second case wherein standard time is equal to the normal time multiplied by 1 minus the allowance factor is used when allowances is given as a fraction of the total workday, and usually used when production time is not known. So going back to the problem, so let's have the given first. Observed time is equal to 0.385 minutes. The rate factor or the rating factor is 80%, and the allowance factor is 12%. So for the normal time, we will rewrite the formula where your observed time is multiplied to the rating factor over 100. So we should always divide the rating factor by 100 if the rating factor is expressed in percentage. So normal time is equal to observed time multiplied by the RF all over 100. So we'll have 0.385 times 80 over 100, and this will give us 0.308 minutes. So next, to solve for the standard time, so again the formula requires case 1 since the mode of use of the allowance factor is not valid. So this follows case 1 where the normal time is multiplied by 1 plus the allowance factor. So 0.308, which we obtained earlier, is multiplied to 1 plus 0.12, which is the AF, will give us 0.345 minutes. Alright, so that actually ends my discussion. I hope you learned a lot, and thank you. Have a great day.